The little dog and the big one are very affectionate with each other. They even look like a couple. It turns out that the big one resurfaced at the reservoir. It's the missing old gal's body. On the other side, the deputy also felt there was something special about the relationship between the big one and the little dog. So he wanted to find a chance to talk to her. Little did he know it was time to leave work. Wei Jin put on her backpack and left the office. This gave the deputy a bad feeling. So he secretly followed her. He happened to see the little dog fastening the big one's seatbelt. She looked completely content doing it. The deputy sat stunned on the ground. He slapped himself to wake up from the shock. He needed to confirm that what he saw wasn't a dream. Meanwhile, the little dog secretly took a detour. She wanted to invite Wei Jin to dinner. However, Wei Jin was wholly thinking about Zijong. She was completely uninterested. The little dog noticed her thought. The next day, the divorce case was extensively covered by the reporters. It quickly reached Taegi's ears. He immediately called the head of the National Search Division. He requested a little help from him. At the same time, Wei Jin also learned of old Gao's death. She couldn't bear to believe that a former colleague had died so tragically. Turn around. The retired civil servants gathered together, also suggested a post-mortem examination on the body. Plus, old Gao's family isn't well off, and there were former colleagues involved. So they hoped everyone could chip in to give him a dignified farewell. Wei Jin expressed his agreement after hearing this. Aiki could chime in as well, and noted that old Gao's daughter's hospital would actively assist. However, after speaking, he walked through the window, staring into the distance, lost in thought. Seeing this, Wei Jin wanted to say something to him. Just then, the scene shifted. Aiki hurriedly drove away from the unit. Wei Jin was about to chase after him, only to unexpectedly discover that this person's license plate was 6438, the same car as the suspect in the case. Plus, he actually mentioned a connection to Debson Hospital. Suddenly, the evidence all lined up. Wei Jin rushed into the office immediately, revealing the barkeeper is the owner of the 6438 vehicle. Unexpectedly, the data. This person is already labeled the suspect and is currently under investigation. Wei Jin was confused by this. Why not arrest him quickly? They have no choice but to admit. One reason is the lack of evidence. Another is that he is not within Jigsaw search scope. So there are so limitations in handling this. Meanwhile, the autopsy results have come in. The forensic expert informed in. The cause of death was inhalation of lake water leading to asphyxiation. This means the victim was alive when pushed into the water. Additionally, there are scratches and bruises on the body. They don't appear to be wounds from an impact in the water. It is presumed these were abrasions from being trapped by the attacker. There were also traces of fentanyl detected. This type of drug can be fatal in just 2 grams. Interestingly, the amount in the deceased's body was not lethal, but sufficient to render them unconscious. It appears to be the work of a professional. This succeed promptly applied for a search warrant from the deputy prosecutor. However, that individual used various excuses to deny the request. With no other option, he had to find an alternative route. He entrusted this task to the elderly Wei Jin. Cut 2. Wei Jin pretended to have stomach ache. She successfully detonated the Dexon Hospital. Turned out she wasn't included in the initial infiltration plan. Absolutely cannot miss this time. If you want to abandon me, then step over me to leave. I have to go. Why has he suddenly become so motivated? Let's go! Ultimately, after Wei Jin's desperate pleas, Sixteen agreed to let her join. There's also a scene-setting card here. Actually, the plan is quite simple. It speculates that there was clearly a decision at the hospital. So the officer is in charge of searching the warehouse. He went to the clinic by himself. As for Wei Jin, he needs to find a way to get the DNA of the white iron turtle. On the other side, Sad Tattoo learned of the hospital news. He immediately drove to the hospital. At the same time, he ordered someone to borrow blood. After the nurse finished drawing the blood, Tattoo also arrived at the hospital. However, the older Wei Jin had vanished. It turned out she had sneaked into Sad Tattoo's office. She was searching for something that could test for DNA. Just then, Sad Tattoo hurried to the door. Has anyone been in? No, no one has been in. Hearing noise, Tattoo immediately walked into the office and looked for signs of a stranger. Just as he opened the spot where Wei Jin was hiding, the nurse suddenly announced that Lencha's blood test results were ready. It showed her blood type was type O. Tattoo was very shocked. He immediately took out results from years ago for comparison. Another report showed his blood type was type A. What's going on? Lencha. You! Who are you really?